What is going on, guys? I am back up here for my SmackDown Live review. We're going to take a look and break down everything that took place on the April 25th, 2017 edition of SmackDown Live, which emanated live from Des Moines, Iowa. And I just want to say thank you all for watching this video. Remember, please click the like and subscribe button for more video content and all that good jazz. So, without further ado, let's take a look and break down SmackDown Live, which I thought was easily the superior show this week compared to Raw. It wasn't a great episode of SmackDown. It was a solid average edition that set up a number of key storyline items in place for what we will see down the road heading into the Backlash pay-per-view. Unlike Raw, SmackDown got me interested in seeing what they do with these, quote-unquote pieces on the chessboard, where you're going to move them as we slowly approach Backlash. And it's nice that there is a good enough gap where you can be allowed to experiment and expand upon the narratives, not be so rushed into, the next pay-per-view is coming up. No, you have time to tell good stories. And I felt like while this was an average edition of SmackDown, it did enough to keep me invested throughout the entire show. So we kicked things off on SmackDown this week with what was supposed to be an in-ring interview. Renee Young was supposed to interview Shinsuke Nakamura, but before a word could even be uttered, Dolph Ziggler would come down to the ring. And, I don't know, the dialogue that they had Ziggler speaking here, saying here, I wasn't a fan of it. To me, it was just a little bit too cartoony and campy. He was mocking Nakamura. He went on and on and on. I was just like, oh, God. Nakamura, please just shut this guy up. And Nakamura got on the mic, and he asked Ziggler, what's your problem? And he spoke some Japanese, and he called Dolph Ziggler a jackass. And this led to Ziggler trying to take down Nakamura, get a cheap shot on him, but Nakamura was able to block Ziggler's super kick. And he was setting him up for the Kinshasa, but Ziggler scurried out of the ring. So we now know that this will be... They're saving this match, Ziggler versus Nakamura, his in-ring main roster debut for the Backlash pay-per-view, which is coming up on May 20th, I believe. Let me double-check that. It's either 21st. There we go. May 21st. So we still got 3 more weeks to get there. So I look forward to Nakamura's in-ring debut on the main roster against Ziggler. I think that'll be a good first opponent for him. But I didn't like what they had Ziggler say here. To me, it just wasn't doing it for me personally. But I did like how Nakamura pretty much no-sold him, called him a jackass, took him down. Due to his limited, English-speaking capabilities, I think the best way you go forward with Nakamura right here is short, sweet, to the point, and you let his in-ring work, and it's just his charisma, which just oozes from him. This man just... I don't know what it is about him. I mean, he just gets it. And he can become a big star, but you don't want to, you play to his strengths, not his weaknesses, You don't have him go out there and cut 15 to 20-minute promos, because that will not help him in any manner. But so far, I like the way that they're going with Nakamura. Less is more, and he will show it. And I think in easily, no matter of time, he will become, one of the top stars here on SmackDown Live. So I look forward to Nakamura versus Ziggler, which has been confirmed, but most likely be taking place at Backlash in Chicago. It should be a great crowd for that pay-per-view. AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. Another solid match between these two. Last week there was a disqualification. Match ended kind of fluky. So, therefore, this week we have the rematch between these two. Thought more solid, outstanding work. AJ continues to excel as the best in the company, and him and Corbin here had a good match. Kevin Owens was on commentary, so we have that little dynamic to play off. AJ Styles, was able to get up on the ring apron. Kevin Owens got out of his seat. AJ kicked him in the face. Styles attempted to go for the phenomenal forearm, try to hit the end of days on AJ Styles. AJ was able to counter through, get the roll-up and the win, and allude to his eventual... We can assume it'll be AJ versus Kevin Owens, but we'll have to see what happens at Payback first between Owens and Jericho. But most likely it'll be Styles versus Owens fresh matchup there for the United States Championship. Cannot wait to see that go down at Backlash. Eventually, Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin double team attack AJ. And then Sami Zayn would come down, make the save on AJ Styles. So it looks like we'll be getting a program between Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn. Correctly predicted that in my Backlash card predictions video, which you guys should check out that video, by the way. Cheap plug. Had to get in the cheap plug. But, yeah, I think Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, guys are looking for something to do. Put those two together. I think it can make for a good... if you want to make it a stopgap feud, till you move on to your plans for what you have with Baron Corbin, but at least to give a Sami Zayn sense of direction, I feel he would be much better utilized here on SmackDown compared to how he was, just kind of toiling here on Raw. But Owens left the title, left the ring and the title as eventually the heels were able to gain the upper hand. Owens was able to lay out Sami Zayn and hit a pop-up powerbomb on AJ Styles. So, really like the way that they're booking the United States Championship. It feels almost more prestigious compared to the WWE Championship with the way that the booking has been going lately. So, all in all, really excited for the United States Championship scene. I think Kevin Owens will make for a great United States champion, and I look forward to the impending showdown between him and AJ Styles at Backlash. We then move on here to the first match in the Beat the Clock Challenge. Personally, I am not a fan of the Beat the Clock Challenge matches. It's never done anything for me. So when I heard they were going to have a Beat the Clock Challenge to determine the number one contenders, I was just like, okay. Let's see who the number one contenders will be. And surprisingly, this wasn't a surprise. American Alpha were able to pick up the win over the Clones. It was a solid, average tag team championship. Tag team Beat the Clock Challenge match here. They set the time to beat 5:17. American Alpha picked up the win with the Grand Amplitude. And we'll skip around here a little bit. We'll go to the second Beat the Clock Challenge match. Ascension versus Breezango. And your new number one contenders in about 3 minutes, Breezango become the new number one contenders to the tag team champions, the Usos. Really surprised there. I thought for sure, I was thinking maybe a triple threat scenario, but once they announced the fact that we're going to have a Beat the Clock Challenge, I wasn't sure if they were going to have American Alpha versus the Usos again. I definitely didn't think it was going to be the Ascension based on the way they've been booked. And Breezango, a team that they've been booked like crap, and I just haven't taken them seriously at all. So it's kind of a bit of a leap of faith here to now have them as number one contenders, but they are on SmackDown, and I will give SmackDown easily the benefit of the doubt compared to Raw. We'll see where they go with this in the weeks to come, but I believe this is Breezango's first tag team championship opportunity here on SmackDown, so maybe they'll make the most of it, maybe they won't. We'll have to see. Let's see how it plays out. I'm interested, but I'll hold my judgment on this one. Erick Rowan versus Randy Orton, no disqualification match. Randy Orton wins. They use some kendo sticks, tables, steel chair here and there. They went off the announcer's table. Randy Orton picks up the win with the RKO. I didn't really care for the match at all. I mean, it's Erick Rowan versus Randy Orton. It was what it was. Randy Orton wins, and then he says the House of Horrors match will not be Randy Orton's purgatory. It will be Bray Wyatt's eternal hell. All I can say is I cannot wait for this Randy Orton-Bray Wyatt feud to finally come to an end. And I was more interested in what they did with Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys, because Jinder came out cutting a promo talking about how Randy Orton disrespects him just because he looks different, and he feels disrespected because of Orton's arrogance and his lack of tolerance. But he will take his respect. Jinder will take his respect at Backlash for him and his people. And then he starts talking in Punjab. And then eventually the Bollywood Boys would double team Randy Orton, beat him down, and Jinder Mahal would take the WWE Championship. Him and the Bollywood Boys got in a limo, and they rode off with Randy Orton's WWE Championship. So while I was not sold on the idea of Jinder Mahal being the number one contender, I did remember it is SmackDown. We'll give him a chance. We'll see how far they want to go with this guy. To me, what was difficult about this was due to the fact that for so long Jinder lost, and he lost, and he lost, and beat into your brain, this guy's a jobber, he's a loser, he's only at this level. So for him to just go to number one contender, that's stretching it for me. But I will wait. I always wait and see how the story plays out. I did like the beatdown here. I did like the addition of the Bollywood Boys helping Jinder Mahal win. That adds a bit of a wrinkle, a bit of intrigue. Frankly, for me, Randy Orton as WWE Champion ain't anything too much to write home about. Frankly, he's Randy Orton. Right now, I think Orton just is much better as a heel versus this just vanilla kind of sandpaper, boring babyface champion. It's just, not gonna lie, I kind of would be interested in seeing, I don't think they're gonna put the title on him, but you never know. Jinder Mahal is WWE Champion. Hey, stranger things have happened, so anything can happen, but I did like the beatdown here, and I did like Mahal taking the title with him. That was certainly something different rather than just standing, posing with the title, and you throw it back down. No, they actually took the title with him. So we'll see where this story goes. I am intrigued, and I like what they did here tonight. But yeah, the match with Erick Rowan was alright, but I did like the interaction between Mahal and Orton. And we then get into our main event, SmackDown Women's Championship match between Naomi, Charlotte Flair. Last week, I wasn't really too much a fan of their match. Thought it was solid, but I feel like some of the chemistry, could have been worked on. Obviously, these two haven't, had that much in-ring experience with one another, being on separate brands, Charlotte on Raw, Naomi on SmackDown. But I think the more opportunity and time that Charlotte and Naomi are allowed to work on the house shows and what have you, the matches that they have will be better. And I did enjoy this match that they had this week for the SmackDown Women's Championship in the main event of the show, more so compared to the previous week's match. Match was going pretty good until eventually Tamina, Natalya, and Carmella would come down and beat down and lay out both Charlotte and Naomi. So is this perhaps signaling a Charlotte babyface turn? I don't know how I feel about that, because I really feel Charlotte works and thrives in the role of just this cocky, arrogant, I'm genetically superior compared to all of you type heel. I mean, to me this signals a babyface turn, but I don't know if that would be the right direction for Charlotte to go in. But we'll see. Natalya, Naomi, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella, along with James Ellsworth, because you got to throw him in there, all stood tall. Match was declared a no contest due to the interference, and that's how we closed out SmackDown. So an intriguing way, kind of like wondering what will the landscape of the women's division be. So yeah, while not not an A show or a B show, I still thought this was an average. There was enough on this show that I enjoyed, that left me intrigued for where SmackDown heads, as we are only, 3 to 4 weeks out from Backlash, so they still got time to allow these stories to develop. So yeah, I definitely thought SmackDown was better than Raw this week, and that's why for my grade for SmackDown this week, I'm going to give it a C+. Average show, good show, but an average show. Nothing, like on Raw where it was just like, ugh, this is just, what are you doing? This is a go-home. No, SmackDown still has plenty of time till they get to their go-home and build up the excitement for Backlash. And I am looking forward to Backlash next month. So that is it, guys, for this SmackDown Live review. I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Remember to click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. Be on the lookout for me in my next video. And be sure this Sunday, immediately after Payback, we'll be doing a live review around 11 o'clock, 11:15, with special guest Nerd Coalition here on this channel. So make sure you tune in for that. So that is it, guys. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Till then, thanks for watching, and